Thinking about gifting your home to your kids to avoid long-term care costs? This one decision could cost you everything. Let me show you what I mean. Right now, thousands of Canadian families are scrambling to protect their homes. Long-term care costs in Canada can run $4,000 to $10,000 per month, depending on your province. In Ontario alone, there are over 600 nursing homes with waiting lists in the thousands. So I get it. People panic. They hear about gifting the house to the kids and think problem solved. But in 20 years as a wealth advisor, I have seen this strategy destroy families financially. And today, I am going to show you exactly why it backfires and what you should do instead. Quick note: if this is already making you think, I wish I would known this earlier, hit subscribe. It means you will catch the next video before you are knee-deep in paperwork or panic. And if it is not for you, subscribe anytime. Fair? Let me tell you about Ruth, 74-year-old widow in Mississauga, 3 grown kids. She decided to gift her $800,000 home to her children. The goal: protect it from long-term care costs and simplify things for the family. Sounds reasonable, right? Here is what actually happened. Her eldest daughter went through a divorce. Suddenly, Ruth's house became part of the settlement, an asset to be divided up in family court. Her son got laid off during COVID. Financial troubles followed. Creditors came knocking, and they were very interested in his share of the house. Her youngest wanted to buy her first condo in Toronto. She tried to borrow against her share of the house for a down payment. And Ruth? Still living there. But legally, she is just a guest. No control, no say, completely at the mercy of her kids' financial situations. Then Ruth's health declined. She needed to apply for subsidized long-term care. The provincial assessor investigated and called it deliberate deprivation of assets. Their verdict? They treated the house as if Ruth still owned it anyway. So Ruth achieved the impossible. She lost control of her home, and he did not avoid care costs. This is not a one-off story. Pieces of this happen constantly across Canada. The 3 big risks of gifting your home. Risk 1. Total loss of control. Once your house is in your child's name, it is not sort of theirs. It is theirs. Period. They can sell it without your permission. Take out mortgage against it. Lose it in a divorce settlement. Have it seized by creditors in bankruptcy. Be forced to sell if they get sued. You go from homeowner to hoping your kids act in your best interests. And I love my family, but I would not put my housing security in the same category as hoping my texts get replied to. Risk 2. Capital gains tax bomb. This is the one most Canadians completely miss. Where principal residence is exempt from capital gains tax when you sell it or when you die. It is one of the best tax shelters Canada offers. But the moment you gift it to your kids while you are alive, you trigger deemed disposition. See, our atriat, its US thirsts, realized at fair pairs value. And worse, your kids do not get the principal residence exemption because they do not live there. So when they eventually sell, they will pay capital gains tax on the entire appreciation since you gifted it. Example: your Toronto home worth $1.02 million that you bought for $300,000. If you die owning it, $0 tax, principal residence exemption. If you gift it now and they sell later for $1.05 million, roughly $300,000 plus in capital gains tax. You just created a massive tax bill, trying to save money. Risk 3. Long-term care costs are not actually avoided. Provincial assessors are not stupid. They do not just look at when you gifted the house. They look at why. In Ontario, if they believe you transferred assets to avoid paying for care, they can treat those assets as if you still own them under the Long-Term Care Homes Act. Every province has rules against deliberate deprivation of assets. The assessment typically looks at your income, your liquid assets, the value of your home, with some protection, if a spouse still lives there, any assets you transferred in the years leading up to care. If you gift the house to avoid care costs, you often still get assessed as if you did not. Impressively bad value. So what should you actually do? Here is the boring answer that actually works. Option 1. Let your principal residence exemption work. The simplest solution is often the right one. Your home passes to your kids tax-free when you die thanks to the principal residence exemption. No capital gains tax, clean transfer. For most families, the problem is already solved. You just need a proper will, clear beneficiary designations, and maybe some advance planning around care costs. Not exciting, but neither is accidentally blowing up your family's finances. Trying to gift your house to avoid taxes when you already have a tax-free option is like using a flamethrower to deal with a spider. Option 2. Use annual gift exemptions strategically. Canada does not have a gift tax, but that does not mean every gift is smart. Instead of gifting the whole house, gift cash to your kids regularly while you are healthy. Help with down payments, education, investments. Reduce your estate size gradually and intentionally. Document everything clearly. This reduces your assessable assets over time without triggering capital gains or losing control of your home. Option 3. Multi-generational living, if it is genuine. If your kids genuinely live with you, and I mean actually live there, not just for show, you can add them to the title. This works when they are permanent residents of the home. It is a legitimate shared living arrangement. The arrangement is documented and makes practical sense. In some families and cultures, multi-generational living is completely normal. In the right circumstances, it can work. But if it is just for show, assessors will see through it. Option 4. Trusts, when used properly. Now we get to the main event. Trusts. There are different types, but for estate planning, you are usually looking at either a living trust or a testamentary trust created through your will. A properly structured trust can protect assets from your kids' divorces or creditors, give you ongoing control during your lifetime, prevent sideways disinheritance. Example: new spouses. Provide probate planning benefits. Example: Joan and John, retired couple in Ontario. They set up a living trust early, while both are in good health and thinking ahead. The trust holds their home. They retain the right to live there for life. Years later, John passes away. Joan eventually needs long-term care. Because the trust was set up well in advance for genuine estate planning reasons, not as a last-minute panic move, the province may assess Joan's assets differently. The key: timing is everything. Set up a trust after a diagnosis or when care is clearly on the horizon. The province will almost certainly challenge it as deliberate deprivation. Early planning often works. Late planning almost always gets challenged. Important trust reality check. Let me clear up a huge misunderstanding. If you place your home in a trust and continue living there, it usually does not save you money on taxes or care costs. CLEA has attribution rules. If you benefit from the asset, it is still attributed to you for tax purposes. Trusts are excellent for control and asset protection. Probate planning. Shielding against family risks. Ensuring your wishes are followed. But they are not automatic tax savers or care cost avoiders. Should you consider a trust? Consider a trust if you have a blended family or second marriage concerns. You are worried about your kids' divorces or creditors. You want control over when and how kids inherit. You are planning early 50s, early 60s, not in late-stage panic. You can afford proper setup and ongoing administration. You already have your will and powers of attorney sorted. And this part matters. It is easy to stumble across a Facebook post, making it seem like trusts are the answer to everything. But honestly, most people actually need to prioritize. 1. A proper will. 2. Powers of attorney for property and personal care. 3. A realistic plan for how long-term care fits into retirement. 4. And ask, does a trust actually suit our situation? Professional advice matters. Every family is different. Every plan should be too. The worst estate planning decisions are not made out of greed. They are made out of panic. And panic is a terrible financial advisor. Gifting your house feels like a shortcut, but it regularly turns into a trap. Trusts can be brilliant, but only when they match your goals, are set up early, and are done properly. They are tools, not magic spells. Here's what I want you to do. If you are thinking about any of this, start with the basics. Get your will done. Get your powers of attorney in place. Then talk to a lawyer who specializes in estate planning. And if you know someone who is about to sign over their house to the kids, share this video. Think of it as a public service announcement with fewer sirens and slightly more spreadsheets. Thanks for watching. See you next time. If you live in Ontario and want to set up a tax-efficient estate plan, you can either scan the QR code or click on the link in the description. See if we are a fit.